I think I actually liked an episode that was solely focused on Tusken Raiders, at least for the most part, better than a chapter 3 of the Book of Boba Fett. Chapter 2 was a lot better. It was a lot longer, but it was a lot better than this one. Chapter 3 is about just as long as the first episode, and it is the worst one. It is the worst episode of this show so far. Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. I don't like this episode. There is some cool stuff in it, but generally overall, after the episode ended and how I felt after it, I'm not satisfied after this, and I have way too many things that I just have wrong with this show right now. And again, we are only 3 episodes in, but it's a 7-episode show. Boba's trying to figure out how to run Tatooine. He's learning about all these different people and syndicates that are on Tatooine, and I don't know, I don't really want to get into that right now. It'll probably play later into the show, but I kind of just want to talk about some of the bigger things that I didn't really like. But let's kind of do a quick recap here. There was this guy that came into the palace, said he wanted Boba to deal with some thugs, or this gang that was kind of stealing water from him or something like that. Apparently he's like overpricing water. I don't know, I don't honestly know, but this introduces our biker gang, our biker squad here in this episode, and they are the worst part of this episode to me, and I'm sure a lot of people will not like them either. I do not like this. It just gives me so many different vibes that literally are not Star Wars. I don't feel Star Wars in these characters at all, and what they do and what they are, I just don't feel like this is Star Wars. At least this shouldn't be on Tatooine. I've seen some people mention this should be maybe on Coruscant. This is definitely not a group of kids who should be on Tatooine running around Mos Espa on their clean, shiny speeders here, and colorful speeders as well. So we got this girl right here was apparently in one of the trailers. I think she's in like one trailer. She showed up real quick, and we kind of got our first look at what these little speeders would look like. We kind of thought maybe she would be a character of her own, but overall it's just like this stupid little teenager gang rummaging around Mos Espa. So instead of dealing with the gang, Boba ends up recruiting them. He says, go work for me then. If you don't have a job, you don't have anything to do right now, you're stealing stuff, come work for me. So instead of dealing with stuff, he just has more people work for him, I guess. So he's going to be everybody's friend. It's becoming a common trend here. I don't like how they're doing Boba. So far, I don't like what they're doing with Boba. And the second episode was very promising too, so I'm just kind of upset. The flashbacks that we got, one of the coolest parts of the flashbacks in this episode was one we saw already. They literally pretty much replayed the entire scene that we saw in episode 2 in the flashback with Boba, where he's on Kamino as a child and he's watching Jango Fett fly away. It's literally the same scene, just kind of played out a little longer, and you get some different angles, but it's literally the same scene. And then we get his reflection in the glass again. So that's literally just a replay of a scene there. Then we jump back. So he's on Tatooine. He leaves the Tusken Raiders and he kind of meets up with the Pykes. I don't necessarily know. He's interacting with them about safe passage and whatever else. So he's dealing with the Pykes now in Mos Eisley, I believe. And later on, he notices that the Tuskens were killed. He walks upon their camp, and since he left, they were all wiped out. You can see the Banthas, you can see the Tuskens, their tents are all on fire, they're burned, they're killed. And the Tusken Raiders that he kind of became one of are all dead. They were just all killed off screen. So it just kind of makes episode 2 just feel a little weird, because he's becoming kind of part of this Tusken Raider group. And then they're all just kind of wiped out off screen. It's like the Tuskens were reverted back to a being out in the sands that could be killed just on a whim because they feel like it. And that's, I guess, what they ended up being. So all the Tuskens are dead, and then we got this reveal that it's that biker gang or whatever that's speeding around Tatooine that Boba and the child Tusken saw earlier in the season in episode 1. So I'm assuming Boba's going to end up dealing with them in later episodes, but the flashbacks weren't really much in this episode. After he deals with the Tuskens, he burns their bodies. The flashbacks are done, and I guess in the story it ended abruptly because we saw this face right after the flashbacks were done. Black Krrsantan from episode 2 and from some Star Wars comics. People have been talking about him all week now. He was sent to kill Boba Fett from the Hutts. So we all know he's working for the Hutts, and he rips Boba Fett right out of the bacta tank. So he makes it to the palace, reaches the bacta tank, and just opens it up and rips Boba out, and they start tussling. It's more just Black Krrsantan throwing Boba Fett around. Like, Boba Fett really just, he doesn't really do much, you know? I mean, he gets tossed around a few times, he gets a few punches in, and he just, you know, gets pummeled to the ground until our wonderful, colorful biker gang from Mos Espa comes in to save the day, saves Boba Fett, and they all tussle with this big Wookiee, who they're obviously no match for. He's like beating everybody up until they, you know, outsmart him in the end. You got the Gamorrean guards, you got Fennec Shand, they outsmart him and they trap him in the Rancor pit. So that fight, instead of it being Boba versus Black Krrsantan, it was just Boba getting beat up a few times and then everybody else coming in to save the day, especially Fennec Shand, which I like Fennec Shand, but she is really just, it really seems like she is the one in charge. And I don't like that because this is the book of Boba Fett. Why is Boba Fett not feel like the one in charge here? I genuinely do not understand this. So Boba Fett and Fennec. Fennec always just seems super confident. She feels like the character that I want Boba Fett to be right now. If I'm being honest, I like Fennec Shand. I'm not, you know, and this is nothing against the character of Fennec Shand. This is against what they're doing with Boba Fett. I don't know. I don't like what they're doing. I feel like he's serving under Fennec Shand in a way. Fennec Shand's really just the one doing everything. Boba Fett's kind of there. He's kind of walking around doing a few things, and then overall, Fennec's kind of doing all the dirty work. He's got this new group of teenager kids on their stupid, colorful speeders, and I don't know. I just haven't seen Boba Fett do a whole lot for himself yet. He's actually done more in the flashbacks than he's done in the present day story. Obviously, the Hutts ended up sending Black Krrsantan to go and kill Boba Fett. And then they come up later in the day and say, oh, sorry about that. We sent Black Krrsantan to go kill you. And we got you a Rancor, and we're going to be leaving Tatooine now. Sorry about that. The reason they're leaving Tatooine is, it says right here, the territory has already been promised to another syndicate. So they're apparently scared of another syndicate out there that's going to be taking control of Mos Espa. And I don't know who this syndicate could be. It could be the syndicate we see at the end of the episode, but I really feel like they're setting up something bigger than that. So the Hutts overall aren't the big threat. I'm thinking we're not even going to see them again, honestly. I don't really see a reason to at this point, considering what they're setting up now. I think we're done with the Hutts, which kind of sucks because I really wanted to see Boba Fett face off against the Hutts. And it just seems weird that the Hutts aren't like the top dog. You know, it just, you always think that they would be the top, and apparently they don't feel like they are. I don't know. It's strange. And then they just release Black Krrsantan because obviously he's just a bounty hunter. He's not really serving the Hutts anymore, I suppose, and Boba just lets him run off. I don't even know if they're going to do anything with him anymore. But they give Boba a warning saying, we are leaving and recommend you do the same. And it seems like they're very, very concerned about this group that's going to be coming in. And the group that they had at the end of the episode, I don't feel like the Hutts would be running from them. I don't know. It just seemed a bit strange. So the Hutts, they gave him a Rancor. So Boba Fett has a Rancor now, and he's friendly with the Rancor. He treats it kind of like a pet. And I don't know. It was kind of strange to see them just kind of petting the Rancor in its pit, and just they're talking about how it's like a calm and caring creature if, you know, you're respectful to it or something. Kind of weird. I just see it as a big Star Wars monster. I don't know what they're trying to do here. But then Boba Fett wants to go talk to the mayor because the Hutts told him that the mayor is the one who is trying to kill him. He's been working with syndicates to kind of, I don't know, take over Mos Espa or something. And then you get probably the most ridiculous shot in the whole episode. You got the colorful teenager cyborg squad here on their wonderful little colorful speeders. They just look super clean and way out of look for Tatooine. It's just super strange, but this entire group, it just looks super cringy. It really does. And the scene that you get later with them is just, it's just so unnecessary. I don't care about these characters, and it just looks ridiculous. It just does. I've seen some people mention he's just walking around with the Power Rangers or something. I don't know. It looks silly. So Boba wants to talk to the mayor, and he ends up seeing that the mayor isn't there. So the mayor is actually not there. But to get into the door, this is kind of what I'm saying again when Boba isn't really doing a whole lot. He tries to get in the door. Oh, it's locked. What else can Boba do? I don't know. He's got a blaster in his hand. Maybe blast the thing. I don't know. And then he lets Fennec deal with the door because Fennec's got to do a little dirty dirty work. You know, I like Fennec, but I'm sure Boba could figure that out. And now we get to the scene that really just kills the episode for me. It does. Even though there's been some cool stuff with the Rancor, maybe we saw the Hutts again. I don't know. Some of the flashbacks were all right. We get to the scene that really just, the episode kind of died for me after this. And it's our wonderful, colorful rainbow group here on their wonderful, clean, pristine speeder bikes. And they just look like they don't belong on Tatooine. Okay, maybe they belong on somewhere like Coruscant, but they definitely don't belong on Tatooine. It looks completely ridiculous. And then we get the speeder chasing the Twi'lek guy here. He was running off because he didn't want to tell Boba that the mayor was not there. He's trying to run away from Boba. And then we get this whole entire 5-minute speeder chase. I don't know really how long it was, but it felt really long. I can't take this seriously. I can't take this seriously. This random group of kids speeding around their colorful, clean, pristine bikes on the desert of Tatooine. I can't take it seriously. I think it looks absolutely ridiculous. And then you don't even get Boba Fett really chasing down this guy. He sends out his little squad here to go and find this guy, crash his little speeder and then ask him where the mayor is. And the mayor is apparently with the Pykes Syndicate. And the Pykes are kind of like the big reveal at the end of the episode, which, I don't know, it's kind of strange. I just felt like with what they were hinting, it was going to be something big like Crimson Dawn. But the end of the episode hinted that, or just didn't really hint, it showed the Pykes coming into Mos Espa like they're going to take over now. It's like they're in charge. I don't know if it really will be them. If it's really them, I don't know. I felt like it would have been like Crimson Dawn coming in to take over, because Crimson Dawn I feel like is like the big bad that's been rumored now for a while that Boba's going to have to deal with, and I still hope they show up, but right now it looks like it's going to be the Pykes. And I've really learned with this show, 3 episodes in here, to not get my hopes up. I'm not going to get my hopes up. It's probably just going to be the Pykes, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I expected more. I expected like a Crimson Dawn type of reveal, and it just really wasn't. So my takeaway from the episode is Boba Fett can't do anything for himself. Even when the speeder chase was done, he literally just flies down on his jetpack in front of the Twi'lek and asks him where the mayor is. Like, why didn't you just chase down the guy to begin with? You have your jetpack. Why don't you just chase him down? You're Boba Fett. Go do it, I don't know. It just bothered me that Boba Fett really just doesn't do a whole lot. It's like the first episode again, where I felt like Boba Fett just didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, really. Other people did things for him, and he just kind of stood around, watched it happen, got his ass beat. And again, I don't have a problem with the characters, taking a beating and recovering and learning and getting stronger from that. But Boba Fett's just getting beat up, and he's not really doing anything else but that. And I don't like it. I've got some concerns for this show now. I really do. I mean, we are 3 episodes in, but there's only 4 left. This is a 7-episode series. There's only 4 episodes left, and so far, I don't feel like we've really gone anywhere in the story. We haven't gone anywhere yet. It has hardly started, it feels like. And now hopefully, the Pykes coming in really kicks up a storyline here in the present story. But I didn't like this episode. I definitely didn't like this episode. I guess if I'd have to rate it, it'd be like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, maybe. It wasn't that good. I didn't enjoy it that much. It was okay. I could rewatch it, I suppose, in the future. If I want to rewatch the series, I probably would rewatch it, but it wasn't that enjoyable, and the speeder chase really ruined it for me. I hope we don't really see those characters again in future episodes. I think we will, though, because they didn't really go anywhere. So Boba's got this squad of rebellious, punk-looking teenagers with their colorful, pristine-looking bikes on Tatooine, or speeders, and they're helping him out now. Apparently the show about Boba Fett can't give us a badass Boba Fett.